you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games, man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light, see the light.
You keep saying you've got standards. Cool. So does every gated community that's really just trying to keep people out while pretending it's about exclusivity. You know, it's possible yours aren't standards, but just booby traps with a velvet rope. You build emotional walls, call them boundaries, then get mad when nobody scales them wearing a love language and holding a therapist's resume. That's not discernment. That's defense. And defense doesn't foster intimacy. It auditions people for their ability to not hurt you like the last one did. Bowlby wasn't joking when he said avoidant folks see emotional needs as threats. You're not being noble. You're being scared. And scared makes rules, not relationships. Walls often look like standards when you're still bleeding from a betrayal you never grieved. But they keep connection out just as effectively as they kept pain out, until loneliness starts to feel like self-respect. And yeah, some people really don't deserve access to you. But if everyone fails the test, maybe it's the test that's broken. Or maybe you're still grading love like it's a final exam in damage control. You're not too much. You're just tired of begging to be seen. And now you're daring someone to guess what's underneath the armor without getting cut.
Hey, man, Dog Man, the little cartoon dog that be talking. Whew, fire. Have you ever experienced a one-sided relationship? Have you ever been in one? Have you ever created one in order to make yourself feel safe? Heavy topic tonight. You're listening to The Voice of Reason. I'm Zoe Williams, live on KBLA Talk 1580. You already know what it is. I've got to keep the pedal to the metal with regards to these topics. Let me just say this. This is my second KBLA show today. I had the pleasure of sitting in with Tavis Smiley for an hour today with my homeboy Ray Grady, the alpha male of comedy. And we promoted our event that's happening this Saturday, May 31st. I need you to go get those tickets right now. TheMiracleInglewood.com is the website. TheMiracleInglewood.com. Go purchase your tickets now. I can't even tell you how incredible of a show this is going to be. Clinicians versus comedians. Who has the best relationship advice and insight? It's going to be amazing. You're going to laugh. You're going to cry. You're going to think. You're going to ruminate, but you're also probably going to urinate. I'm sorry. It's going to be that funny. So please show up. Get your tickets right now. TheMiracleInglewood.com. Now, back to the topic. You know, we use clips, right, to kind of alley-oop the topic. This is the voice of reason. It is a national discussion. People call in from all over the country to share their thoughts and maybe their disdain, maybe their sense of enlightenment, maybe they learned something, but they call in and share their perspectives every day, all day in America. They're calling in. National discussion, the voice of reason. Tonight's topic, bidirectional standards. I think standards should be bidirectional, meaning if I have a standard for you, it should be a standard that I've applied to myself, and it should go both ways. The standard I have for you also applies to me. Sounds simple enough, right? But I think it's a little bit harder to execute, especially when most folks are operating from behind a persona, i.e., their mask. Bidirectional standards are a deeper exploration of the duality of expectations and standards. When you have standards and expectations for others that don't apply to yourself. And I know you've been in relationships before where you've been called out on it. Wait, you got this standard for me, right? But I see you can do it. And the moment they do it, they already have a neatly manicured excuse or reason or intellectualization for why they can do it, but you cannot. On the modern dating scene, the quest for authenticity is a big deal. Right? Often we run into the challenge of bidirectional standards, right? Which is challenging the hypocrisy of imposing perfection on partners while neglecting inner accountability. You got all these rules for me, but none of them apply to you. On tonight's episode of The Voice of Reason, we're going to try to probe into how unresolved trauma, cognitive dissonance, and cultural narratives fuel unilateral expectations that mirror our internal deficits. We're going to be drawing on insights from clinical psychology, metaphysical inquiry, and empirical research, including attachment theory and trauma bonding studies. This perspective, hopefully, will reveal that demanding qualities you yourself have yet to cultivate creates a cycle of relational imbalance. I think a lot of people want relational imbalance. The power has to be in a particular person's hands for the most part. And remember, you know what the rule is. It's some but all, some but not all, but I would say the majority. Right? We will be integrating ancient spiritual wisdom with modern science. This framework advocates a radical shift, fostering mutual growth through self-reflection and honest vulnerability. Many people struggle with self-reflection and honest vulnerability. Ultimately, we're trying to rebalance standards between self and partners. That's what we're trying to do. right? We're trying to get you to see that it is not only transformative, but essential for evolving authentic, organically reciprocal human connections. Not forced reciprocity, not transactional reciprocity, but organic reciprocity. The paradox of projection. Demanding what you lack. And I would change that. Demanding, right, what you have yet to cultivate. Why would you demand love from your partner when you yourself haven't cultivated authentic, true, real, infinite, eternal love of self? Your philosophical insight, examining how existential responsibility reveals that projecting unachieved ideas onto others reflects our own inner void. I need you to be everything that I have yet to become. Right? Unpacking cognitive dissonance and defense mechanisms that force us to externalize our self-doubt. Is your relationship unbalanced? And if it is, why? Why do they have to show up in ways that you refuse to? Not only for them, but for yourself. Now, it's easy to run to the hot button word of the day. Oh, it's because they're a narcissist. Well, they might not be. They might just be wounded, and expectations are an extension of their standards. They're weaponizing them, right? Expectations, standards are weaponized as defense mechanisms to keep people at bay. And the only way that they can get in, the key to getting in, is to capitulate to the expectation and the standard. However, the caveat is they won't be doing the same for you. Evaluating attachment theory, which is what we do here quite a bit, and trauma bonding research that shows such projections stem from unhealed wounds. Understanding that the energy we project onto others is a mirror of our own unintegrated spiritual essence. Last night, something quite profound came out, and that was true marriage is tantamount to individuation. Individuation, we should make it just as tired as the word narcissist or trauma or PTSD. Everybody's using these psychological terms. Well, let's start using individuation, because individuation is the process of a person making themselves whole. That's what Carl Jung meant when he put it together, right? When he developed the concept. Let's, drag this word out and make it tired like all the other psychological buzzwords, right? Individuation. What if the real marriage is individuation, right? Making yourself whole before you try to join with someone else. When you're broken, expectations lead your relationship formation. Your expectations. You guys are seeing if the expectations are compatible. Are you okay with blah, blah, blah? Well, I would be if I could get blah, blah, blah. You guys are matching. You guys are chaperones to wounds. Matching up the compatibility of wounds. Not the compatibility of souls, but the compatibility of wounds. How so? It's quite simple. Everybody is talking about another buzzword. You know what the buzzword is? Needs. Well, you have to make sure you show up for my needs. And you have to make sure you show up for mine. No one is really courageous enough to show up for their own wounds. Can you imagine being deeply in love with someone? And I mean seeing them for who they are, accepting them for who they are, embracing every aspect of themselves and yourself without one expectation of them. Last week, I played a clip. Krishnamurti said, I love you, but I don't want a thing. Don't you know the very foundation of Western relationships are built on satiating wants? And oftentimes, that is an imbalanced exchange. Well, if you give me what I want, and if you deliver unto me what I need, then you are suitable to be in my life. We don't know how to love without wanting something, which means we're in a perpetual state of scarcity. Listen to what I'm saying. I know it's counterintuitive to how you were conditioned, to how you were raised, to what you were brought up, right? To think. This is different. Cognitive dissonance unmasks the illusion of unilateral accountability. You cannot ask your partner to deliver something unto you that you have refused to give to yourself. I know it's difficult. And I'm going to say this topic again because I want you to understand bidirectional standards. A deeper exploration of the duality of expectations and standards. When you have standards and expectations for others, but not for yourself. Why is it that you think you have the authority and the agency to demand and expect that someone shows up in the way that you need them to, but you have yet to do that for yourself? You have unidirectional standards. Show up the way my wounds need you to, and I will grant you permission to date me, to marry me, to court me, to do whatever. Spiritual hypocrisy. You're absolutely right, Nzinga. When we come forward, the voice of reason is going to continue to unpack this powerful, powerful topic. Are you in a one-sided relationship? Talk to me.
Relationships. Got you confused? Need some straight talk? This is where you get the unfiltered truth about love, relationships, and everything in between. He breaks down relationship dynamics with no-nonsense wisdom and practical advice that actually works. Tackling the questions you're afraid to ask and giving you the answers you need to hear. You're inside the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
One, two. You ready?
Somebody make some noise in this joint.
KBLA Talk 1580 celebrates its 4th anniversary this year on Juneteenth.
Here we go again.
Hard to believe 4 years has gone by so fast.
Oh my God.
But here we are, still standing, still loving and serving our people as best we can.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
To celebrate our 4th anniversary, we have 4 big events, and you're invited to all of them.
She got a lot to say. Let's do this.
Let's get it on! On Wednesday, June 18th, we go live on C-SPAN for the 2nd consecutive year with our Climate Justice Plus Black Health Symposium. Tavis Smiley will moderate an all-star panel of thinkers and influencers as we continue our vitally important climate justice work.
Hey, Tavis Smiley, talk about.
On Thursday, June 19th, you're invited to join us as we celebrate Juneteenth and our 4th anniversary. There will be plenty of food, fun, great music, good vibes, and all of your favorite KBLA Talk 1580 hosts will be there.
Yeah, man.
Flip the beat. On Saturday, June 21st, there are 2 big events you're invited to attend.
I can't wait to hear it.
This year, KBLA Talk 1580 continues its annual partnership with the Empowerment Congress for a community celebration and dialogue to educate, engage, and empower. This year's theme is resilience in the face of chaos.
Can't wait to see what's up next.
Y'all ain't ready for this.
And new this year is our State of Black Women in Los Angeles Symposium, moderated by Dominique DePrima, with a luncheon to follow. Dominique will be leading a dialogue with some of the most impactful Black women leaders in Los Angeles, and you're invited to join.
This is it.
All of these events are free, but seating is limited, so you must register in advance at our KBLA1580.com website, where you can find all the details you need about each event.
Check it out.
It's our 4th anniversary, and we would love to celebrate it with you.
I love you guys so much. There's nothing you can do about it.
We're KBLA Talk 1580.
The only black talk radio station west of the Mississippi.
Thank you for having our black.
Happy anniversary, KBLA!
Love you.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. Every girl deserves a chance to shine. That's the belief behind Forgiving for Living, Inc. Since 1999, this organization has been empowering at-risk girls ages 13 to 18, helping them overcome behavioral and mental health challenges. Founder Wendy Gladney's personal journey inspired the mission to give girls hope and purpose through the power of forgiveness. Through their ambassador program, workshops, and annual conference, Forgiving for Living has touched over 3,000 young lives, providing mentoring, life skills, training, and tools for building self-esteem and confidence. You can make a difference. Visit forgivingforliving.org to donate, volunteer, become a mentor, or find help for a young girl in need. Forgiving for Living, Inc., building brighter futures for young girls. Visit forgivingforliving.org today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Only thing that's saving you is the heart of a woman. Yeah. Only thing that's saving you is the heart of a woman. Question is why I do the things I do. Answer I may never find, but I'll always choose you. Wanna give up on you, but I know I can't. I put the blame on me for giving you chance after chance. I love what you can't stand, and I try to be strong, but how much can I put your words on your life this time? And I hope you ain't lying, 'cause only thing that's saving you is the heart of a woman.
Oh, before I turned into arguing in the comments, I had the option to look at me and say, hey, dog, how you keep ending up with them?
Yeah. That's beautiful.
Why you keep entertaining these women that don't give a fuck about you for real, for real? Why you riding with women who wouldn't fuck with you when you ain't got no bag? Ooh. Like, that's a you problem. Why? Because you got the baddie? Why? Because other niggas say she valid? You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, we as men, genuinely, bro, raise your standards. Stop arguing with women in the comments. Stop ganging up with other to beat up on women that don't fit your preferences, bro. Just raise your bar.
Now, a lot of fellas are not going to agree with this one, but he's right. We got to raise our bar. And as a content creator, I see a lot of men in the comments complaining about the women they deal with. And don't get me wrong, I've dealt with my fair share of them as well. But like he said, we all have a choice. A lot of us guys will take a lot of crap from these women because they look beautiful or because they meet your preferences as far as looks. But then in the other categories, she doesn't meet any of your qualifications. Like,
hey, stop being in a one-sided relationship, both men and women. How about that? Early in American history, there were 13 colonies. And before the establishment of a national bank, which caused great debate, there was vociferous and fervent debate against the establishment of a national bank. And the reason why that was done is because it was believed that by establishing a national bank, you would somehow be disrespecting the Constitution. Why? Because the Constitution didn't expressly say that the government had the authority or the power to create a bank, right? The original government before the Constitution, under the Articles of Confederation, right, didn't have the power to tax. Really didn't have any power at all. It was purposely made weak. What does this have to do with tonight's topic, Zoe? Well, before the establishment of a national bank and national currency, all the states had different currency, right? Different currencies for the different colonies. Now, currency in one colony is good in that colony, but it may not be good in the next colony. In other words, the currency internally is good for spending. The external currency isn't worth so much, using that analogy. Now, spiritually speaking, when you're a chaser and a groper and a groveler, and you're in a one-sided relationship, and you're trying to do everything that you can do to get them to reciprocate what you've been doing, that's you valuing a currency outside of your jurisdiction that isn't worth more than your internal currency. Do you hear what I'm saying? Are you listening? A bird with one wing can't fly. Same with a relationship. You need two wings flapping. It has to be aligned, right? Many of us are misaligned with regards to self-knowledge and who we are and what we really want and why we're there, and unhealed, unrequited wounds are making the decisions on who we decide to date. It's our ego who takes credit for it, but the wound is behind the ego saying, pick that one. We've got some unfinished business. Are you hearing me? Right? Again, the true currency comes from within. We've overpowered and aggrandized this external currency. The inescapable dissonance when expectations serve as a defense mechanism. Probing the irony that externalized standards often defend against self-acknowledgement and authentic vulnerability. Just because you got all of these rules and you think they're going to follow them to the T, you're still unsafe because you're not safe with you. When I come forward, I'm going to the phone lines. It's going to get even crazier. Let's get it.
He's on fire tonight. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black civil rights attorney Ben Crump is scoring a major win as Harvard University agreed to give up photos of enslaved father and daughter Renty and Delia Taylor taken in 1850 for a racist study.
We think people all around the world is better for this historic settlement.
The images will go to the International African American Museum, resolving a lawsuit filed by their descendant, Tamara Lanier. 2 female Secret Service officers are suspended after a fight out of former President Obama's D.C. home. Video shows them punching, shoving, and one officer demanding a supervisor before threatening to beat up her colleague for showing up late. And Mariah Carey, Jamie Foxx, Snoop Dogg, and Kirk Franklin will be honored with Ultimate Icon Awards at the BET Awards on June 9th. Hosted by Kevin Hart, the show will feature performances from Carey, Franklin, and Snoop. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
It's
It's time to bring people back into the hiring process. If posting jobs online and screening applicants is failing, turn to the experts, Express Employment Professionals. Go to expresspros.com to find the location near you. Express blends tech with local support. That's expresspros.com.
At the tone, please record your message.
You ready?
Drop it! Mr. Tavis Smiley, preach it. Thank you, man. Politics in this country is crazy. You put things in perspective that even I didn't. The right is playing fast and loose with facts and scapegoating everyone under the sun, especially black and brown people. As a white man, I do not agree with this, and I am on my black and brown brothers and sisters' side. Fight the good fight. Know that I am part of the resistance. Let's fight the power.
Our freedom of speech is freedom of death. We got to fight the powers that be.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
Nationwide is so much more than a great insurance company. They're one of America's largest financial services companies. Like how I'm more than Saquon Barkley, the NFL's reigning leading rusher. I'm also the NFL's leading husher. Shh, hush up back there. Wow, I might have just set the hushing record. Well, almost. For your insurance and financial needs, Nationwide is on your side.
Nationwide Investment Services Corporation, member FINRA, Columbus, Ohio.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cal Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The Comedy Connection series featuring KBLA's Zoe Williams, the voice of reason, and the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady. We're going to transform relationship disasters into stand-up material live at Inglewood's Miracle Theater on May 31st at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. My clinical team will disclose all of your dating woes, while the alpha male of comedy, Ray Grady, has hand-selected supremely talented comedians to roast all of our tragic relationship choices. I dare you to bring your ex's phone number because Ray, he's going to text it live and the crowd will be sourcing emojis. Tickets are moving swiftly, so don't hesitate to grab yours at themiracleinglewood.com before I diagnose your dating history as a pre-existing condition.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. Walking in a room and light it up, you say you like that. Yeah, I'm the type to make you like that. Like a little bug, well, pardon me, I bite back. And you ain't never had one like that. Boy, I am a mood, I sit back and let him chase me. Keep some distance just for my safety. It'd be hard to choose and can't nobody make me. Nobody. Until lately. And I know what you're doing to me. So baby, I'ma do you the same. It's gonna be just how you want it to be. Let me write the rules to the game. Real woman got you handing out all these labels. You ain't used to working with so much on the table. Say you don't want from me, what we gon' see? Checkmate and call me a queen. Next move.
But I think sometimes when you are dealing with list type things like this, like coming up with a set of non-negotiable values, people tend to overdo it. They tend to come up with the pros and cons list. We've always heard those stories of the men or women who have a list that is 50 items long that the correct person that they need to date or marry has to check every one of those lists. That is not the same thing as a non-negotiable value. A non-negotiable value usually is only 2 or 3 specific things that you know for a fact that you will not be able to overcome.
Here we go. The Voice of Reason, KBLA Talk 1580. Here we go. One-sided means self-interested, self-centered. That is antithetical to relating. Relationship is about 2. The number 2 itself, if you study numerology, represents union. Represents relationship 2, right? A one-sided relation. How are you? It's oxymoronic, right? Here are a couple of signs that you're in a one-sided relationship, and some of this stuff I disagree with. Lack of feeling secure in the relationship. Is that from you or is that from them? Is it their responsibility to make you feel secure? I'm not saying they should be threatening, but if there are things within you that you have to address and have not addressed, is it their responsibility to make you feel secure? That's something we can unpack. But if you're in a long-term relationship and that person has never made you feel welcomed, right? Then you may have an issue. You might be in a one-sided relationship. What about second guessing, right? A partner's motives. Why are you doing that? What type of response are you trying to elicit from me by doing that? Feeling like you're lacking. Well, let's unpack that. Because, again, that's a bidirectional thought. It's not solely on the person you're with. Sometimes you might be feeling like you're lacking something, not because of what your partner did or didn't do, but it could be because of something you refuse to provide for yourself. Do you understand? So feeling like you're lacking, yes, in one sense, it can come from your partner to make you feel like you're not enough, to make you feel like you're unworthy. But at the same time, it could be you playing out a generational pattern, a generational curse where you were raised in an environment that made you feel less than. You might have walked into this relationship with a worthiness wound. Right? Very interesting. Feeling empty after interactions. Now, this is a good one. You know why this is a good one? Feeling empty after interactions. Do you know what that calls me to? Performance. Not everybody is Denzel Washington. Not everybody is Lawrence Fishburne. not everybody can become a character and immerse themselves so deeply into the character that you forget that's an actor. You think that's a real person, right? Oftentimes in performative relationships, when you're dealing with relationship thespians, right? Relationship actors, what tends to happen is they will perform certain things because they know in the performance of whatever it is, take you to dinner, pull the chair out, open the door, whatever it is, right? Most people are so focused on the behavior, they don't connect to the energy behind the behavior. This is why I always tell women, yes, actions speak louder than words, but intentions speak louder than behaviors, and a woman's intuition is always locked into a man's intention. So he might be doing what you want, but if you keep a close eye on your intuitive process while he's doing what you want, you can feel, you can sense the genuineness behind his action. He's not just doing it because he knows she likes this and this could lead to me scoring. I'm going to tell you right now, ladies, men's most effective style of communication is behavior. We really don't want to talk because if we talk, we have to articulate our feelings. And, we're really sloppy with feelings for the most part. Do you understand? Talking about them and sharing them and expressing them. I'd rather do something to show you. That's our most effective form of communication, is doing. And many of us have learned to be performers because we know you value doing over what I say, for the most part. Oh, my goodness. So feeling empty after interactions, I can see that one very clearly. If somebody is performative, that feeling or that intuitive process might be the red flag, the pink flag, whatever color flag you need, right? That might be the flag that you should pay attention to, okay? Then they say one person does all the work in the relationship. Well, let's break that down. What is work? Does that mean paying for everything? Does that mean cleaning everything? Does that mean initiating everything? I'm going to tell you, whoever came up with this is probably a narcissist, right? One person does all the work. Okay, could be true, right? Could be. I'm not saying it's 100% wrong, could be true. But what if you have a person who's sitting back evaluating all of the work that is done and deeming it not good enough for their liking, for their taste? Would anybody call that person a narcissist? DC? Very interesting. One person does all the work. And yes, there are relationships that are one-sided in this way. Right? Yes, there are. Fear of upsetting a partner or causing conflict. Does that mean you're in a one-sided relationship, or does that mean you are the architect of a one-sided relationship? Because if you have a fear of upsetting your partner, that's you doing that to you. Right? I'm fearful of conflict. At some point, you have to get the courage, the internal fortitude to be able to have difficult conversations. So you see, I could go both ways. Maybe there's a fear, maybe from childhood, conditioned. There's a fear to engage in difficult conversations because you might have a fear of abandonment. Right? You don't want to upset this person by bringing the truth as you see it to them for clarification. You lack the courage to have difficult conversations. Is that more about them or is that more about you? Now, this is clear. Making excuses for a partner. Right? Well, it can be murky. This goes back to the statement before. Are you trying to hold on to somebody just to have somebody? Are they worth the effort you're putting into holding on? You worry about when you will see them again. I don't know if that's a one-sided relationship. I can see if you put it on a spectrum, it could be seen that way on the far end where there's this anxious, maybe you're anxious, preoccupied, and it's like, oh, I haven't seen you all day. I've been missing you all day. Maybe some of that is there, right? Lack of personal growth. Somebody just threw that in, right? Somebody just threw that in. All relationships require personal growth, right? Settling for bursts of connections, but craving more. Now, this is what they call breadcrumbing. When people give you this intermittent reinforcement every now and again, I'm going to acknowledge, I'm going to show up, I'm going to give you what you want, then I'm going to pull it back. That's definitely a malicious, manipulative tool, right? But let me just say this. I want to know if you've been in a one-sided relationship and you felt like the person breadcrumbed you, you felt like the person didn't give you everything you needed. And I'm going to ask, why did you need it in the first place? We got callers on the line. I'm going to come forward. But when we come full circle, I want to hear from the callers and I want to hear their thoughts about tonight's topic. We're going to get to it right now.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
The following is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways with the purpose of soliciting sales of vacation ownership. For complete details, please visit fvgradio.com. If you want a 100% complimentary stay at a luxury resort in Cancun, airfare not included, then Family Vacation Getaways is your ticket to paradise. See website for complete details. We're giving away 5 days and 4 nights to the first 50 callers who can name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. An animal that lays eggs and is not a bird. Do you know it? Call now, 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431. You're also eligible for an exciting bonus vacation to Orlando, Florida for just $498. And don't worry about anything ruining your plans. We can extend your travel up to 18 months. Name an animal that lays eggs and is not a bird, and get a complimentary Cancun resort stay and an optional bonus vacation to Orlando for just $498. What are you waiting for? Call 800-868-6431, 800-868-6431, and give us your answer. The proceeding is not a contest and is a paid advertisement by Family Vacation Getaways and not sponsored by this program or its affiliates.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Worried about eviction? You have rights, and Stay Housed LA can help. Stay Housed LA is a partnership between LA County, the City of Los Angeles, and local service providers. From Lancaster to Long Beach, we're here to help you with tenant education workshops, legal clinics, free legal services for eligible tenants, and online resources about tenant protection laws. Don't face eviction alone. Call our hotline at 1-888-694-0040. That's 1-888-694-0040. Or visit stayhousedla.org. Stay Housed LA, keeping Los Angeles residents in their homes. Stay Housed LA, your rights, your home, our community. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper that focuses on providing newsworthy information to the people in our community. We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide low-cost, effective ways to promote your business with our reasonable and affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future. Subscribe today.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
I see your name on my lock screen, I already know what it means. I was rolling in his bed, you was rent free in my head. I thought I was done with that lease. Please, I wanna love another person. Can I please love another person this time? Oh, me. I've been putting all this work in, and you still got a place in my mind. Oh, it's gotta be your way. I want it to be mine. Don't you think this is foreplay? Must be out of your mind. They tell me to ignore it. Don't you think that I've tried and I've tried and I've tried and I've tried? I know when you said goodbye, you ain't mean no goodbye. Here we go. I know when you get to liking my pictures, it's time. Here we go.
So I was having a conversation with this man today, and he was saying how the women who look amazing and have great bodies, they don't want to settle for men who are making like $50K. He was like complaining about that. So my response was, okay, well, have you considered like not pursuing those type of women if you don't fit the bracket that they're looking for? Because I'm sure there are some great women who fall outside that criteria. And his response was, yeah, well, people like what they like, right? And I thought this was interesting because it kind of mirrors what we hear about women nowadays. We're always told to adjust our standards. They're unrealistic. Everybody's competing for the same type of people. We all complain about double standards, but we only complain about double standards when we're not benefiting from them. So everybody's a hypocrite, honestly. Argue with your mama.
Oh, everybody's a hypocrite. Argue with your mama. Just 'cause your body beautiful, that doesn't necessarily mean that your soul is. Let me tell you something. Big Mama used to say it all the time. Keep living. That was her way of saying, you're going to learn. What you don't understand today, keep living. You might understand it tomorrow. Keep living. See, let me just say, you think just because you have an aesthetic, a beautiful aesthetic, that you can leverage that to get something out of another. And it's true for the most part. A lot of people will bend the knee. They will capitulate and say, well, she's fine, or well, he's attractive, right? I had somebody tell me that recently. They said, because you're attractive, you think, I know the dating market is a mess, King Joseph. He's telling me this. Right? But back to the point. She said, because you're attractive, you think, or you expect, this is how she said it. She said, you expect women to just do whatever because you're attractive and you've got things going on or whatever. You think they're just supposed to do what you want them to do. And I was like, no. She was like, yeah. Like, she said it's operating in an unconscious way for you. But at the same time, let me just say, I need a beautiful soul, not just a beautiful face or a beautiful body. I need somebody who has been in the lab, in the gym, working on their spirit, trying to get some self-wins. Because what I know is the more unhealed you are, listen to what I'm saying here, the more unhealed you are, the more expectations you have of others. Somebody go meme it. I want to see that on Instagram. Is it true or false? The more unhealed you are, chances are you have more expectations of others. The more healed you are, the chances of you asking from demanding, I need this, I don't think you demand as much when you're healed or when you start the healing process. I don't think you ask for as much or you expect as much because a lot of things are pouring out of you through the cultivation of self-love within you. Self-acceptance. Again, integration. Back to the original point at the beginning of the show. Integration is the real nuptial. It's the real covenant of marriage. An unintegrated soul is a broken soul looking for a matching broken piece. Jeez. Let's get the callers on the line. Attila, Houston, Texas. What are your thoughts on tonight's topic?
Tio.
What up, niece? What is the word, child? Talk to me.
Child, listen. Okay, so I made a comment earlier. I want to do two things. I'm going to address this comment, and then I want to go back to that video you just played. I think her name is Tynesha. But anyway, I made a comment in a chat where I said, could you argue that when someone refuses to meet your needs or at least won't show up for you, that it's an opportunity to show up for yourself instead?
How about
And the reason why I said that is because when I think about like times where I was in relationships where, you know, I was upset that a person wouldn't meet me where I was, where I felt they should meet me, or if I felt like they weren't meeting my needs. In reality, number one, I think we confuse needs and wants, because really it's what I wanted. It wasn't what I needed. But then number two, the time that I wasted with them was the time that I should have been working on myself. And the thing is, you end up having to do the work anyway. It's either you decide to leave the situation and go on and do what you need to do, or you get forced out of it. And I think a lot of times that's why we need pain to show us different, because we think that as long as we are in like a subtle type of pain where it's not that obvious, that we can make it through it. That somehow if we just love them enough, it's not going to work like that. Like, you have to make the decision to choose yourself sometimes, and that's just the reality of the situation.
Wow, that's so big. That's so big what you just said. If we would just love them enough. You can't weaponize love as a giving. The moment you recontextualize love as a form of giving, you make it transactional. It becomes addictive. It becomes a tool for codependence. Love is more of a resonance than a giving.
Right.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Right.
And the way we're conditioned is, if I love them more, listen to what is not spoken behind that. If I love them more, maybe I'll get what I want ultimately, right?
Exactly.
So are you giving from a space of resonance, or are you giving from a space of ultimately I want to receive this back?
Right. And I'll make this too. I'll make this caveat, having played the anxious side and the avoidant side in relationships. You know, you may start out genuine in terms of like the anxious side when you're giving. You might in the beginning be really genuine about what you're doing. But I think with the anxious side, what they don't really calculate or understand is that just like you've seen that they have some issues or maybe some areas in their life that they need to work on, and you want to give to that, they see that you have issues and areas in your life. The only difference is they're not going to give to you for you to work it out.
Wow.
You're both seeing each other very clearly, but what you're not understanding is just because you see them doesn't mean you see yourself clearly. So until you actually have that self-awareness, you're going to continue giving to a broken pot. So
wait.
That's one.
Wait, stay right there. Don't go nowhere, because you're cooking. When we come forward, we're going back to Houston, Texas. The stove, the range, the grill, it's all on fire.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Amber Payton with BIN News Now. Black civil rights attorney Ben Crump is scoring a major win as Harvard University agreed to give up photos of enslaved father and daughter Renty and Delia Taylor taken in 1850 for a racist study.
We think people all around